you show up on the USC campus and you are, you'll probably be modest here, but the reality is you were seen as a guy who could be the next USC Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, that's what people thought you might be at your size with your speed and the rest of it. You had a productive career. I mean, you were getting 10 to 12 carries per game on the 72 team, which may have been the greatest college football team of all time. You're a fourth-round draft choice. So it's not that you didn't have a productive career, you did. But your career sort of got derailed a little bit and turned out not to necessarily be what you expected it might be coming out of high school. Tell us what happened.
Well, everything was on track. Coming out of high school, my junior year, I started becoming a starter. Actually, my sophomore year, I had some very successful games. But then my senior year, after I had a very good year in track, running the high hurdles and low hurdles, I really started out very quickly. Like I said, I had the CAF rushing record and about 1,800 yards, and really nobody else was doing that at that time. Although there was some very good running backs around, McAllister and Johnson at Blair. I was kind of setting myself apart there. And to me, that even added more to my decision to go to USC because I figured I was one of the best running backs. And I really wanted to see if I could do that at USC. So then when I got there, I was joined by some of the most incredible athletes I think we could have ever put together. I mean, it was I think more I see a hand of God in that whole thing, really. And in fact, today I'm still involved in a Bible study with a lot of the guys who were from that 72 team, and which we can speak about later, which I think it was significant. The makeup of these players was significant and why we were able to turn our season around from a 6-4-1 two-timer to undefeated national champion. So, but again, things were going well. I had a strong sophomore year. In fact, I was player of the week against Washington State. Where I had 4 touchdowns in that game. And to me, I was like, wow, this is going to be a regular thing. But it's a little harder than that. But then my junior year, going into my junior year, I was I had won the job as a starter, and I was running track at the same time. So in spring, I had Vern Wolf told me later on that he had talked to Coach McKay about allowing me to miss the last scrimmage, and Coach McKay said, "No, I want to see him one more time." So that fateful day, I was practicing with the team. We were having a scrimmage on which is now a renamed stadium. Now I can't remember the young lady's name, although she's fantastic, and I'm very proud of what she's done. But where the Salute to Troy is, where we have the right next to Heritage Hall, we used to scrimmage there. And odd play, I was actually having a great day on that scrimmage, the last scrimmage, and I broke outside, and a guy just playing around jumped on my back and kind of rode me down to the ground. And he really did it as a practical joke. But when I landed on the runway for the broad jump, it caused my hip to dislocate. And more than that, it shattered the hip socket, and I had to have emergency surgery, which totally stunned me because I hadn't really had any problem with injuries per se so far, and that was kind of a earth-shattering experience.
Yeah. So you sat out 1 year recovering from the injury, I assume, yes?
Yes, 1 year.
Then you came back. Go ahead.
Pretty involved surgery. It's like, I had 60 stitches on my right hip, so then the way they do it now, more orthoscopically. So they had to go in, and fortunately, there was no damage to the blood supply that goes into the head of the femur. So I was able to just recover, which involved 6 weeks of traction, a lot of time laying in bed. So all the work I put in all those years to develop the speed and strength and all that kind of went down the tubes.
Yeah.
So I sat out that whole year and then watched the guys, and it was a 6-4 in one year, as I mentioned. And fortunately, I was able to come back the following year. And Coach McKay kind of put me in the starting tailback position by default, even though I hadn't really been hit or touched for more than a year at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how was it? Was it the same? I mean, did you make a full recovery, or was it different?
I'd say I made a full recovery, even though, I didn't have the strength, the confidence, the power, speed. I think I was missing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Uh, but, for the first three games, in fact, let me go to the first game, which was against Arkansas. We went down to Little Rock, similar to the Alabama experience, where same colors and the same kind of atmosphere too, where the whole town turned out and everyone's wearing these little pig hats on their,
Yeah.
which was very interesting. But it was obviously extremely exciting for the people in Arkansas. Um, we went down there. I had no idea what it was going to be like because I hadn't really scrimmaged at all. And I started that game, and I wound up having a very good game. It was over 100 yards and I think 2 or 3 touchdowns, and we won and beat them. And at that point, they were ranked number one, and we were ranked, I think, 6 or 7 or something like that. Number one after that, and we never lost that advantage. So that
Yeah.
to me, that was huge. Even though I don't realize it was that huge then, but thinking back on it, it was a great recovery.